Wednesday, and that means it is what? That's right. I'm just going to move this screen a little bit. I can see what I'm doing. Wednesday workshop. So hello and welcome to Wednesday workshop. And if you can see me live, please say hi. Drop me a comment. I think I can see the screen. The comments are up here. So if I'm looking, that's what I'm reading. And I want to talk to you today about battling business overwhelm. I think it happens to us all at some point, and not just in business actually, hey, it happens in life. Overwhelm sort of, comes in many forms. So many entrepreneurs, feel overwhelmed in their lives at one point or another. And in fact, like I said, you can feel overwhelmed in not just your business, but yet many parts of your life. So have you felt overwhelmed? If you have, drop me a comment. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and tag me with your comments. I'm happy to come back, answer any questions you may have. And if you have experienced overwhelm, then I'm curious. Where are some examples that, perhaps in your life you've experienced this? Hey, Jai, thanks for joining. So while I wait for you all to comment as to where overwhelm has shown up in your life and your business, because primarily we're focusing on businesses, but like I said, it does actually show up in all areas of life. And while there are many ways to overcome it, you'll find it easier to battle overwhelm if you start to identify the source behind it. And that's, again, true for no matter where it shows up in your life. So let's start here. Identifying where your overwhelm is coming from. Because many entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed and think it's just part of doing business. Yet the truth is, it isn't. And you don't have to accept it as being part of your business or in fact your life. So the first step to getting rid of overwhelm is to figure out where it's coming from. And most feelings stem from, several sources really, which we'll go through, but I'm just wondering, I'm curious, can you imagine for a moment what perhaps these could be? Again, comment, let me know, write something in the chat box. You're perfect. Or it's not perfect. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here. There's no good or bad. It is what it is. So the first source that I found is that it's unrealistic expectations. And this is, one main reason really, if you like, that some entrepreneurs, including myself, get overwhelmed because it has to do with our expectation. And it's common for many to magnify, if you like, the skill and their time, perhaps thinking that we can get more done than we're actually able to do. And this is because we have unrealistic expectations. So you might think you can complete more projects than you really have time to finish. Who's done that? Hands up, show me some love. Yep. Or do you underestimate the complexity of the task and fail to build in that time cushion? That sort of like cocoon around the task to make sure that you can build it and finish it on time, no matter what it is. Perhaps, for example, talk about buildings. Let's use a sales funnel as an example here. You might expect that the task will only take you a couple of hours because last time you did it, that's what it took, right? So we think 2 hours, okay, we'll plan that in. And your schedule's already tight, things are back to back. You have this 2-hour time slot to do the funnel. It's important because it's going to trigger a campaign, to market a product or a program. Yet the difference here is the first time you were functioning perhaps optimal. You were well rested, full of energy, eating right, feeling well. And yet this time, perhaps you lost sleep. Maybe one of your children was sick through the night. You didn't sleep well. Or you're stressed because there's another client deadline coming up. You've got a full schedule. Whatever it is, not even if you're not sure what you're having for dinner, all of these things, all of these extra things that are on your mind floating around and what I call the goldfish bowl, if you like, the goldfish bowl that we have of all of these, thoughts and chatter that's going on. They add up and they slow down your work time. So since you didn't build in a time cushion, you had this 2-hour window because you thought, okay, I can do it in 2 hours, you begin to feel overwhelmed and more stressed as the hour passes because you're not getting through the task. And this creates more and more overwhelm within itself. So what I've learned to do is to build a time buffer in for the task. Actually, each task that I do, I build a time buffer. And when I complete it as planned, or earlier than expected, or, my plan, I now have a choice. I have a choice as to where to spend the rest of my time. And often, when I complete it earlier than planned, I have a choice now to see and to do, with the rest of that time. And I often just move one of my time blocks from here to there. If I think, okay, I finish half an hour earlier, I'll just do this task, get that done. And it means that my calendar and my time has opened up later in the week for me to do something else. So what do you think about that? Any comments, questions? Please let me know, just drop them here. The second source is lack of focus. So with the lack of focus, it's another reason that overwhelm happens, and your focus is not streamlined enough when it does happen, and maybe you've split into too many directions. You have perhaps more than one business or business activities that you're trying to juggle and manage. There's all sorts of reasons why we do this, and when our businesses start to grow and we have more activities and the volume of the activities, perhaps the nature of the activity hasn't changed, but the volume, the transactional amounts in those activities are changing, then running your business is the same way. It can give lack of focus because we can't realistically handle what is going on in the business anymore alone. It could be that you desire to produce more products or take on extra clients, because you want to build things. And all of these products and beautiful ideas, when you are what we call a talent, you have all of these skills and abilities and you want to give more. So you're always strategizing and creating and have all of these ideas. Yet the end result is the same. There's too much on you. So what's the solution? Well, we'll get to that. The third source of identifying our overwhelm could be that there's no clear vision. Lack of vision can also be the root cause of overwhelm. You might not be clear on what you want to accomplish in your business. And due to this, you keep adding projects and tasks, hoping to get closer to building your dream. So as a result, you feel like perhaps a jack of all trades and master of none. And when you're first getting started in an online business, perhaps, or even in fact in any business, it's not uncommon to flounder. I want you to get, guys, that this is normal. These are all normal things that happen, in our journeys to being mompreneurs, entrepreneurs, sole businesses, online business, whatever it has, digital nomads. There's all sorts of things that we can do. Yet as you begin to refine your vision, it gets easy to spot, the projects and clients that are a good match for you and the ones that aren't. Because, we all know that we have any energy boosters and energy drainers, and it's important to identify those. And the last source we'll talk about is really doing it all yourself. Who's here is guilty of that? Oh, yep. Another, I don't, not so much these days. I have a beautiful team that does a lot of the work with me and for me. And it is such a beautiful gift that I allowed myself to have. Yet another reason that overwhelm is present is because you're not willing to outsource. You're not willing to ask for help even. Because even asking for help and having a conversation can relieve a lot of overwhelm. If you can hear a strange noise in the background, it's just my dog rolling around and playing on the floor. She's gorgeous. One day I will show you to her. So, and I get that you want to do it all yourself. You know, it's your business. You want it to be successful. You want things done right. You know, done right or being right is a huge limitation that we put on ourselves. So if you keep a finger on every slice of the pie to make sure that you want, you know, that things are done according to your specifications, then it's going to cause overwhelm. Who else has done this? Anyone here? Anyone still doing it? It's something that we work on, I believe. It's once we've identified it, it's a process of, you know, tapping in and seeing when we're doing it, when we're not doing it, and rebuilding. Because whilst you understand, you know, that, and I understand that you want to be at the top of everything in your business, you're only one person. And as your business expands, if you want true generational wealth and that time and money freedom, this is something, that guys, that you need to master. You need to get really good at this, you know, because it's easy to become, your business will become more than one person can effectively manage. And everything that happens in your business does fall on your shoulders. Yes, I get that, but it doesn't mean that you have to go it alone. It doesn't mean that overwhelm is something you must live with in order to be successful, and there are no other options. It's possible to outsource while still maintaining the quality standards that your customers or your clients know and love you for. I think this is the biggest block with most entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners that I work with, is the fact that they feel that they've built up so much and trust with what they do, and they do things in a certain way, and they nurture and love their clients in certain ways, that will be lost when they bring in a team. And that's not the case. We just need to educate the team and all be on the same page in relation to what we want to do and what we're building and how we show up for the clients. So it is possible to maintain the quality that you have while still outsourcing. Now, just so remember that, you know, overwhelm is a choice. You don't have to make it. It's a choice. What are you choosing? You can make the bold decision to say goodbye to overwhelm and embrace a beautiful work-life balance. Of, you know, I call it harmony through self-innovation, and that's what I strive for. Because I want harmony, I want balance, but I want to be teetering on the edge of balance. So I'm always pushing and moving my comfort zone. So some questions I have for you. Are you guilty of setting unrealistic expectations around your time or how you accomplish it? What would happen if you were honest with yourself about how much time you truly have? And are you juggling multiple businesses or multiple projects within your business? And how does this affect your focus? Do you have a clear vision on your business of what you want to do with it? And are you willing to outsource? And if you are, why is that? And if you aren't, then why not? So that's great, Fiona. You know, you help us identify what overwhelm is, but how do we battle it? You know, and because I get that once you've gone through those questions that I outlined just before, and I hope you do, and I'd love to see your comments and answers here, or PM me, whatever it happens to be, just tag me in whatever you post. Once you've gone through those questions, you probably know the chief cause of your overwhelm. And you might, if you're lucky, it won't, but generally speaking, majority of people, it take a few weeks or even months to get starting the benefit from changing these ways. So in the meantime, here's 3 quick tips that you might have seen in posts as well this week. Of when you feel stuck and overwhelmed, there are 3 things that you can do. One is you can set a timer. Instead of setting a timer, a minimum of 10 minutes. And part of the reason is that overwhelm that occurs has to do with time. And it's the way that our brain waves affect, or the brainwave efforts, if you like, involved in working within time perimeters. Not having a boundary makes it easy for you to procrastinate and put things aside. You know, this is why many entrepreneurs put things off until tomorrow or the next day. When you set a timer, it lets your brain know that all you have to do is work for this limited amount of time on one task. It breaks it down for the brain and makes focusing easier. See, Sab is agreeing. You see her barking there. So she knows that we set a 25-minute Pomodoro timer, and she knows when it's going to go off, and we have a 5-minute quick break. We run outside, throw the ball. Give that a go. Choose one project. Tip number 2 is choose one project. If you like most entrepreneurs, multiple projects going at once at various stages. Some are halfway done, some are close to finishing, others haven't even been started, they're in concept stage. So juggling all of these things in multiple stages, it leads to overwhelm. And that's why when you stop juggling everything at once, overwhelm stops. It's funny that, right? So even if you're on a deadline, you can choose to focus on just one project. Choose the one that will have the biggest impact on your business and tackle that one first. And tip number 3 is create accountability. When you're your own boss, you don't have to answer to anyone. We know this. It makes it easy to allow the overwhelm to stop you in your tracks. You know, when you need accountability that is often built into that traditional job, setting. Accountability is there, right? You have your supervisor, your boss, your role, KPIs, all of these things. And this, you should mirror that and set that up in your own business. There are certain ways to do it. I'm happy to talk about that. Anyone that wants me to, just let me know. Because having someone to answer to about your time and what you do can mean the difference between having a productive day or not. You can set up a system, perhaps to text a friend or a business partner, let them know what you're accomplishing today. Have an accountability buddy. It works. It really does. This person can check in with what you're doing. Because after all, we don't often want to disappoint or let our friends or embarrass ourselves by not following through. It's actually a really good motivator. And remember, the feeling overwhelmed often leads to procrastination. So while it might feel good in the moment, procrastination is only going to increase your overwhelm. You might choose, I'll go and watch an episode of my show on Netflix, and you feel good. But then the overwhelm increases because you realize now, oh shit, I'm 1 more hour further behind. You agreeing with me, Saba? Thank you. Good girl. So again, share your thoughts. Consider what could you accomplish in just 10 minutes? What's your top project today? Who could become your accountability buddy? And what has boosted your productivity in the past? And we'll just close by talking quickly a little bit about battling overwhelm by learning about you. Because knowing who you are and what you like is important. In your personal life, right, you know what you like to eat, what you like to wear, what music you like, all of these things. But do you know the same things about your business? How you show up in your business? When I first came across this, I logged my energy, if you like, and yes, okay, it's an extra task to do in the day, and I wanted to throw you all into overwhelm. But it was really, really beneficial. I did it for 3 weeks. And during this time, during the working hours, I logged what I did, the time I started, how I felt, my energy before and after. And I also recorded as well what I ate and drank and whether I did any exercise, because all of these things I realize affect my energy levels and how I show up. It helped me to create a good routine now that I know works for my energy. Because the results will help you spot when you're most productive. It can help you tell when you're at the highest energy level. Once you know this information, you can tackle the toughest projects with ease. Who wants that? Me. I want more ease in my life. Ease and flow and joy. Know what motivates you. Because as soon as you finish something around the house, right, perhaps you get to go and play a game or watch TV. These can be great for motivators. And do the same thing for your business life. Saba, quiet. Find what motivates you to finish a project. It might be a promise of a night out with friends, maybe a movie. I like to take myself to an afternoon movie sometimes, you know, gold class, go and have a treat. And I do that if I meet my business targets for the week. That's my, you know, go and spoil myself time. Don't be afraid to experiment as well. Just because you've got, you know, your business bestie swears by this app or your mentor insists that you have to use a certain program, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And it's a good thing to experiment and see what works for you. When you're free to do business in a way, I just realized what she wants, the ball. Then, you know, find a way to do business that works, that matches your personality. Overwhelm will naturally go away because you're doing things your way, you're having fun, you're enjoying it, it's aligned with you. So have you ever tried keeping an energy log? How often do you pay attention to your energy fluctuations during the day? Give it a go, guys. It's really, really well worth doing. What motivates you to complete a task? You know, that you know you're going to be more productive with. And finally, you know, in what ways would you like more of your personality to shine through into your business? Great questions. Great questions. And I hope that you go through these questions, ask yourself them, and share your comments here in the live. Let me know. Send me an email. Send me a PM. Love to hear from you. So until next week, I will see you then. And if you want to join me, I'm doing a class, mini masterclass 4:30 today, all about distractions and, you know, getting into action. So you're welcome to join that at 4:30. I'll get one of the guys to post the link here if you want to join. If not, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you again next week for more Wednesday workshops. Bye for now.